Welcome, welcome to another EBX discussion. And I thank those that take the time out of your day and come into another EBX discussion. Salute, and I hope you're living good, and I hope we're trying our best to be healthy out there, because this, our body, our mind, the rest, our soul, our spirit, stay as strong and healthy as we can possibly be. And this this weird spiritual realm. So I salute and I give honor to my ancestors. I'm always going to give honor to my ancestors. I don't care what we facing. And I honor thy father, and I honor thy mother, I honor thy sister, and I honor thy brother. And if you alive and breathing, we are back to fight another day. And always be grateful. And remember, there are those that didn't wake up this morning, or didn't go to sleep last night. I always keep that in my spirit, and may those in your family and my family, may they rest in peace and in power. And may all of our families prosper, and everything we touch turn to gold. And I mean that from the heart, because we got to keep that spiritual realm strong, that spiritual momentum. We got to keep it going, So that's why I do things like that. That's why I say love thy brother, love thy sister. Because I'm always going to keep that family spirit no matter what I'm going through, what I'm facing. And that's what leads me to our parents, mothers, fathers. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, I'm not coming off like I'm perfect, but it's not about being perfect. It's trying to pay attention to the things that are in the present so it can benefit us in the what. When we do righteous in the present, it will benefit us in the what. Fill in the blank. If you heard me speak, you know what I always say. In our future will be taken care of because we've done what we're supposed to do as brothers and sisters in the present. So with that being said, volunteering. If we volunteer, get involved in our children's lives and in school especially, because we're not there a lot of times. So we have to take those times to volunteer, which I am doing. And I will mention that from time to time because I'm going to get that spirit out there. Volunteering can empower you. Volunteer will empower us. You just got to step into it and not be afraid. And go, what I always say, let that force move through us. And that force will show up and show out. But we got to make that step, because that greater, higher divine, that great divine, it's like a father or a mother. It's not going to do the work for you. It's going to give you the powers, the tools, the thoughts, the downloads. And what always, just a little side note, when did I say that knowledge comes? Those power thoughts. In the morning is the best time. So be ready to receive, and don't let the outside world and social media and et cetera, things of deflection, things that need to be deflected. Make sure you do that in the morning, because that's when I get most of my powerful thoughts. And, because my great divine give me confidence within that spiritual realm, I'm sure other brothers and sisters that are powerful out there, I'm sure they get those fruitful thoughts in the morning too. Because being connected to that divine will lead you to magnifying it, especially when you get results from walking a righteous life and doing righteous things. Many results will come about. So magnify that greater, higher force, and that force will magnify us. So getting back to volunteering, and you won't know it can empower us until we step into it and do it. We have to get out of our so-called routine times, so to speak, and step out, because you feel better. And I'm going to tell you another thing, brothers and sisters. If you're feeling, I won't say down, because I don't want to put that spirit of depression. If you feeling some kind of way, if you feeling maybe some sad, do something for somebody else. I'm especially volunteering at these schools, especially because that's the topic I'm speaking on today, and magnifying greater things in our lives, especially that great divine, Mother Nature, the greater creator, the universe. I will always hold that above everything, because that's what will always keep us stable, because that's who has to say overall, that higher, greater, supreme being. Never forget that, folks. Take that higher, greater spirit with us with wherever we go, into everything we do, in which is volunteering, in which I'm going to go back to what I was getting ready to say. Volunteering, take that spirit, that spiritual guidance with you, because that spiritual side, not just look at the physical, really go in deep into a young brother or a young sister's mind and see what's going on with them. And then we'll get to the outer. When you really talk to a child and really show love and concern, and they feel it. Because remember, folks, just because children, are not at, they don't, of course, they're children, they're not going to have an adult mind. What I'm saying is, children can feel vibes too. So, and they can feel if someone is real or fake. Children know this. Now, I'm sure those of us that have single lives, whether it's brother or sister, and you bring another, partner, a romantic partner, whether it's brother or sister, into your life, and if it's something wrong with that individual, a lot of times the children can pick up on it. So that's just an example I'm saying. And a lot of times, children's vibrations and their discernment are more sharp than adults a lot of times. It's just that sometimes we don't take that time to have that spiritual connection with our children to notice that they have these powers. So when we notice that they have these same powers that a lot of us have, we help them to develop it. And I used to tell my son's sister that she's, they're all his brothers and sisters on my side and his mother's side. I'm talking about my son, Ethan, my 7-year-old. Now, my children, I got 5 of my own, I always mention. Very smart, very intelligent, creative, great children, Now, on his side, on his mom's side, same deal. All of them, his brothers and sisters, man, so smart. Kids are going to do what they do. They're going to go through their growing pains. That's just a part of life. But overall, very intelligent, very smart, creative, can do a lot of things. So, we have to take the time to see the things like this that's in our children. Now, to go back to what I was getting ready to say. Now, when we notice these spiritual gifts that our young brothers and young sisters have, we help them develop it. We say little positive things to them. You got to remember, folks, children do listen, especially if they know you care. They might act like they don't, but still say it anyway. That's my philosophy. Say it anyway. Don't ever think, well, they ain't listening to me. Yes, they will. Remember, it gets into their subconscious. It's a spiritual thing. Remember. So this is something I would tell my son's sister, which I don't say stepkids. Y'all know that. I say daughter. She's my daughter. And she's very creative and, man, so smart and intelligent. And I would tell her all the time, use your powers for good. Don't use them for bad or sneaky or evil things. Because what's the one thing that a lot of us teachers always talk about, and you'll hear me talk about a lot? Karma, folks. Some reason some of us forget about karma, and that's something I don't forget about. And just another little side note, I get attacked too. It's not all sunshines all the time when I'm on here speaking. But I deal with, if I have issues within myself or on the outside, I deal with it as it comes. When you study thyself, you'll learn to deal with every situation as it comes, rationally and logically. You'll move through life so smooth that way, and it will help you to get over our own little feelings that try to surface sometimes. Sometimes we just got to say, fuck our feelings. It's not always about us. So that's what led me to volunteering. Again, volunteer. When we volunteer, it will empower us. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing, especially when you see results and you see the impact. you can have on children, and you see it within them, and you really spiritually connect with them. And this process isn't easy, because at the school where my son goes, where I volunteers, and also his sister goes there too, I meant to mention. She goes there too, and I always say hi to them every day. And that's good too, brothers and sisters. When the children see a parent getting involved, do you know the impact that will have on that child, and the karma, the good karma that you manifest by doing that? I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing, but we gotta take that step and see. And once we do it, because to be honest, I was a little fearful of volunteering. I didn't know what to do, and because I'm not a psychologist. I study psychology a little bit, but I've never been to college, and so that's why we have to take the time, be patient, and we learn the child's mind, and we have to kind of ignore some of the things that the child, whether a young brother or young sister, have been doing for a long time. Remember, folks, old habits die hard. So a lot of young children, as well as we do as adults, as we did, have little habits that we have maybe picked up from a peer or a family member that we're just used to doing. So with that being said, children that we encounter or we're trying to tutor or teach, have been used to having a certain mindset for a long time. So sometimes it's not easy to communicate and really get them to open up. But you have to keep trying. You have to keep pecking away. And we got to remember, folks, every child is different. Every child has different issues that they have been through, if they have any. I don't want to say that all children have issues, because they all don't. But the majority does. And I have to say, well, most of the children that I have encountered here in the last couple of weeks ago has been black. So, because it's predominantly, it's white kids at that school too, but but it's predominantly, if I said that right, it's mostly black, predominantly. That's another funny word for me. But it's mostly young brothers and young sisters at the school, and around the age of 7 and, before the teenage. So that's the age range of the children I'm, volunteering for and teaching and tutoring. And, like I say, folks, one by one, every child is different. We just have to be patient and let them open up. And a lot of times as parents, I'm not saying I'm perfect now. I'm just giving you insight on what I experience. And I'm learning more and more as I go along, That's why I wanted to volunteer and really get involved and get in there instead of just talking about it, as well as with my own children, and because I focus on my own children too now. I take those times and recharge too, because we have to recharge so we can keep ourselves right, so we can keep on teaching these kids. But it's a beautiful thing when you do finally get them to open up. Just have to chip away and keep that love, have that compassion. And so, as parents, as brothers and sisters, as parents, sometimes we have to listen and let them talk, because once they start talking, you have kind of won the battle. You have opened up. Once you get them to open up, you're on your way. That's initiation to the communication. When they start talking, like, oh, that's when you shut up. Let them talk, even if it seems like now you guide the things they say and their mind frame and that thought process. If they say something that's inappropriate, you say, hey, don't say that, but let them talk, and eventually they'll open up. And I experienced this with a young brother that I had talked to last Thursday. I volunteer on Thursdays. Now, folks, I'm going to pick up more days. It's one day a week at the moment, because I do work a job too, but I'm going to do at least one day. But I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, when you start getting involved, I'm telling you, if you have a heart and you have empathy, you just, you want to teach everybody. You get like that, and I'm sure a lot of my reachers and teachers feel that. That's why they reach and teach, So we got to focus more on our youth, brothers and sisters, and volunteer when we can. Magnify that positive force. Don't be afraid of it. Step into it. And that greater divine, well, what I always say, will show up and show out and give you more than enough abilities to deal with each child psychologically, one by one. Every child is different. Again, I want to go back. Every child has different issues, if they have issues. Because, it's a beautiful thing. Like I say, when you feel kind of fearful, or you don't know how to maybe communicate with a young brother or a young sister, center yourself, stop, think for a moment. If the child talking, let that child talk and listen to it. And a lot of things will come out, just like us as adults. Same thing. That's something I'm learning. I'm always looking to learn. It's beautiful. Like I said, I'd be bored if I didn't have nothing to learn or nothing inspiring to do, because that's what keeps us going. And I love feeling this. It's not easy coming to a spiritual enlightenment within oneself. It's beautiful when we can. So work at things to inspire us. Listen to things. Do things to keep us inspired, ladies and gentlemen. And volunteering is one great thing, and it's very fulfilling. And what else I say? It will empower us. It's the most empowering thing in the world when you can have an impact on a young brother or a young sister's life. So again, I'll say, magnify that greater creator, Mother Nature, in that universe. And that greater, higher, supreme being will magnify us at the end of the day. So that's my thought. It's my real thought. It's my positive thought. Again, parents out there, get involved with these children in this school. I'm serious. Because I was one of those that wasn't involved. And I wasted a lot of time, So, and I'm no longer wasting time anymore, because we can't waste that divine time. That divine don't play that. We on that divine time, we better have a right mind, because that great divine ain't nothing soft. That greater creator, Mother Nature, universe, don't play. So I think a lot of times we take that higher supreme being for granted. And that, like I've said before, greater creator, Mother Nature, is tired of the bullshit and is separating the right from the wrong. We all see it and feel it. So I ain't just talking. So if you connected that spiritual realm, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So volunteer at these schools and wherever programs we see these children in, as much as we can. Can't play games no more. Brothers and sisters, we got to step out onto that concrete and make it happen. So that's my thought. And I honor your family. I honor my family. I honor the reachers and teachers that got me to the state that I'm in. So those of us that are listening, get up off our asses. We can do the same. We are all teachers and leaders. It's a spirit within. So I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. And I thank those that stopped in and listened to a brother. I appreciate you. I can feel your energy, even if you don't react and you listen. It's okay. Because remember, we do this for that great divine. And I honor brothers and sisters. May you have the ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. And have a great, great strong. Okay? 1.